21 years ago. Right. First question. So you were like in an article that you lived in Cincinnati for all your life.
Yes.
Right? Why did you choose to live in Cincinnati your whole life?
Well, I had nothing to do with it at first. I was born in Cincinnati.
Well, yeah, of course.
And I loved it there. Here.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the same neighborhood, a lot of kids, and it was just the perfect place to grow up.
Yeah.
We had a lot of supervision and everything we needed.
What's your favorite part about Cincinnati, like just as a city?
Favorite part about Cincinnati, the Reds and the Bengals,
right?
And of course St. X.
Yeah.
And just everything. I think the climate is pretty good, and all my friends are here.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you kind of switching, big transition here, but what would you say were the biggest like events or turning points in your life? Like
the biggest advantages?
No, like events or turning
points. Oh,
events?
events?
Like, yeah.
Outside of your mother.
Right.
All 5 of our children were big events. Of course, my wedding day was a big event.
Of course.
And I still remember the war being over years and years ago. And that was a big event. We all went out in the street and had fun, you know.
Partied.
And just had a great grandbaby named after me, so that was a big event.
Yeah.
So.
What was it like living during the war?
I'm sorry?
What was it like living during the war?
During the war?
Yeah.
I don't remember too much about it. Yeah. I was in high school, and I know we had stamps for groceries and things, and we had all kinds of funds, you know, for the soldiers and the sailors. And of course I had a brother that was a sailor. And even my dad, going way back to the First World War, he was in that. So he used to tell us stories about when he was in, compared with what my brother Jim, and he really liked the Navy. So, but there were restrictions. We had, you know, bomb alerts and things like that. Thank God we never had to use them.
Yeah, like during school, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you do during like a bomb alert?
Pardon me?
What would you do during a bomb alert?
Oh, well, we had what did they say? Drop?
It was like one of those things you went under your desk and like...
Yeah, you drop and find cover.
Yeah.
And it scared us to death, you know, just thinking about it, but we didn't have to do it.
Okay. What was your family life like growing up when you were a kid?
My family? I had an older brother, Jim, that was 4 years older than me. And he went to Lockland High School. And that's where I went 4 years later. And I was in the middle, and then my sister, my one and only, she was 7 years younger than me. And she went to Our Lady of the Angels High School. and she just recently, both of them recently passed away.
Oh, really?
So I'm the only one left in the family.
So you had a brother and a sister.
One brother, one sister. Yeah.
Right. What were some valuable lessons you took away from your parents?
I'm sorry.
Well,
You have to talk louder.
Well, I'm sorry. What were some valuable lessons you took away from your parents?
From my parents?
Yeah, like just through life.
They were everything to me. They were honest, and they were severe with their punishments, and we knew right from wrong. And they were just wonderful people. I couldn't have asked for a better set of parents.
Okay. When did you had to sell your house a couple of years ago? What was that, 2 years ago or something?
After 57 years.
57 years.
We lived in Finneytown.
Right.
We started out in Arlington Heights, which is right off of, is that 75? Little burg. And we moved to up to Finneytown, and in, I forget what year, 47 would that be? Kathy's birthday. I'm not quite sure what year it was, but it amounted to 57 years. And we had a small, kind of a Cape Cod house.
Yeah.
And we had 5 children.
Right.
And it was crowded all the time.
Yeah, I bet.
And but we had a lot of fun. We had Grandpa fixed up the basement, and we had all our little parties and things down there. Yeah, there was a fireplace down there and one upstairs. And our next door neighbors were very close to us, and we had a lot of fun with them. And so we enjoyed the house very much.
Yeah.
And I was sorry to leave it.
What would you say was the worst part of like having to leave?
What's the worst part?
Yeah.
Is the fact that I get to pass it ever so often and see where I sat for all those years. And I never met the man who purchased it, but I hope to someday, just so I know he's enjoying it like I did.
Yeah, I get it. So are you like happier in the nursing home, like now that you're like surrounded by a lot of people your age and like similar to you in nursing home?
I can't say I am.
No.
I love where I am, and the kids are awfully good to me. Anything I want, right now they get it.
Yeah.
And the people here are fine. They're really nice and do all they can for us. And as far as being happy, I mean, it comes to everybody. Someday you'll both understand what I'm talking about. And it just, you have so many memories, you know, that you look back on. And it's, growing older is, it's not always happy, but you have to make up your mind that, you know, a lot of people don't get to be 87.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
yeah. So what do you, just kind of switching gears here. So there's like, you know, there's so much technology, like new kind of stuff going around these days. How does that compare to what it was like in your day? Like,
our biggest thing was the telephone, believe it or not. We had a limited phone, and we had to mark down each call that we made because we were only allowed 40 calls a month. And so we always had to check with our parents to make sure we didn't go over the limit. And all the different cars, we had 4 or 5 different kind of cars, and that was it. And so we knew them all just by sight. But now there's, I don't know how many.
Billions out there.
And they're all so streamlined and beautiful. And we didn't, when we started out, my dad always had a used car. So we, at first we had to use, what do you call it, to get it started?
Crank.
Crank, yeah. And when we went anywhere in the winter, we had to take blankets for the back seat to keep warm because we didn't have a heater. So it's been on all these newfangled things on the phone, and I don't have any part of it.
Really?
I've just got my regular phone, and I don't have a computer. So,
so you're not really familiar.
I'm really a stick in the mud when it comes to that. So I let my kids take care of all those things, and my grandkids.
Yeah, it's probably better that way. Just for in the future, like, is there anything you want to do in the future that you haven't already done in your life? Like any goals or
that I haven't done?
Yeah.
No, there's not really. I read about the first President Bush, how he goes up at 90 and comes out of a plane and all those things. And we have a daughter-in-law who, that was her main objective, was to be able to go up and Aunt Ann, she wanted to go up and jump out of a plane and travel. That's the only thing, I'm sorry, I didn't do more of.
Really?
And my brother, or my husband and grandpa, and my brother went to Ireland it's been about 15 years ago now. They wanted me to go with them, and I didn't want to leave the kids, so I didn't go. And I often think that was my chance to at least go to Ireland, because we had some relatives there. And but outside of that, as long as I can see my kids and my grandkids, and that's about all that I care about anymore.
So, like,
and my health.
Right.
Yeah, if I could trade my whole body in for a new one, I would be in line. So, outside of that, there's nothing else. I'm perfectly at ease with everything.
Right. Okay. So, have you been like anywhere out of the country, like just traveling? Like, what would you say?
Well, I always wanted to go to Germany and England too, and one of the ladies that lives here, her son, her daughter and son-in-law, they made this their livelihood, and they go around to the different countries and take videos, and then they bring them back here, and we can see where they've been.
Oh, that's cool.
They usually have relatives that live in these different countries, and it's really interesting. So that's second best. If I can't be there, I can watch the videos.
So have you ever been out of the country before?
Have I ever been where?
Out to a different country?
No, never have.
Have you ever been to have you been to different states though?
Have I ever been where?
Have you been to different states in the
Oh,
United
yes,
States?
I've been in quite a few states.
What would you say is your favorite state you
Well,
traveled to?
Kewaukee,
Oh, really?
Kentucky,
Yeah.
Indiana, and Florida, and Michigan. Um, I don't know, quite a few. Where?
California. Did you go to
California, yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you like it? Like, do you like going there? Or was it all like fun for you?
Yeah, yeah. My Aunt Carolee had a lakeside home at one time up in Michigan. And we used to go there for like a week at a time.
Yeah, Mom told me about their house up
Oh,
there.
were you there ever?
I've seen it from the outside, but I've
Yeah,
been in there, you know.
Grandpa really loved it up
Really?
there. And we even took great grandpa with us. And he was just, sat out on the glider and watched the boats go by. And
Yeah.
he was,
It's fun. It's fun out there.
yeah.
Mm.
So the things that we did were a lot of fun.
Mm.
I guess I just wasn't set out to be a world traveler.
Right. All right. So this is kind of switching gears again. This is kind of a big leap, but so you're getting older, and like, do you ever think about like dying and what that'll be like? And
I've thought about it many times,
mm,
and I just wish that the Lord would have sent one back after he went there,
yeah,
so we would know. We read about it in the Bible and in our Gospels and everything, and I'm sure it will be beautiful if we make it up there.
Mm.
And but yeah, I hope someday to meet all these relatives that have gone on ahead, especially my mom and dad and my husband. And but I don't know. Nobody knows because nobody ever came back.
Yeah, right.
And we've all said one day we're going to come back, and if we can, we'll come back and tell you. Nobody has ever come back, so we have to just wait and see,
Right.
and hope.
Yeah. True. Are you like scared of the thought of death?
Am I scared?
Yeah.
Not scared really. I'm just. I don't think God would be too severe with his punishment for the things I've done, but still, I guess I did a few. I probably did a few that I wasn't too proud of,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to tell you.
No. I mean, we all have. So. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's it.